The 33rd team, again, great website, they had 10 players who need to rebound in 2022. And they had Baker Mayfield in here. And they said, their verdict, again, he had a tumultuous offseason. And now he has Ben McAdoo, who wasn't a big fan of Baker coming out of college. And he was critical about his measurables and overall athleticism. And their verdict for Baker Mayfield in 2022 is that he is going to fall flat with the Carolina Panthers. Now, Quincy, I know it's a new situation for Baker. I know that, at least as of right now, he's still battling for that starting position, that starting quarterback position in Carolina. I know you did a lot of coverage on this. What are your expectations when it comes to Baker? And do you think he's going to be able to bounce back, or does he fall flat in 2022?
I thought this was probably the worst situation for him, right? To go to Carolina where it's debatable whether they actually believe in him or not. I think there is a section of people who believe this is probably their best chance to win. I also think there's a section of people in that organization that feel like getting Baker Mayfield was probably the best chance to sell some tickets. Let's not forget, this is business. Teams do make decisions to go 500 because 500 sells more tickets than like 2 wins. And a team like Carolina has had a history of doing that kind of thing where they want to make a profit with their football team. So I just don't know. It sounds messy to me, right? Like, it's not like a team that believed in Baker unilaterally traded for him and are going to go through the ups and downs with him. We know with Baker that if you're not going to be committed to him 100% through all the ups and all the downs, he tends to not handle that well. We've seen that here in Cleveland with how he's reacted to fans booing the offense during the year, right? He's not had a great reaction to that. And now he's in a situation where Ben McAdoo thought he was worse, the 6th best quarterback prospect in 2018. So behind Mason Rudolph, he's in a situation with Matt Rule that's straight up volatile. If you ever have read any reports coming out of Carolina about Matt Rule and how he interacts with certain people, it just doesn't seem like that great of a situation for him. And then the question begs you on to this, right? Because everything about Baker Mayfield, and the only reason people have a lot of hope for him, is they've blamed all the bad stuff on everything else, right, at this point. And to a certain point, you get to do that, right? But 2019, it was the coach. 2021, it was, it was the shoulder. What if he's healthy, goes in here, the situation's a mess, right? Like, we can all look at Carolina and say, hey, they got some good players, but their situation kind of looks like a mess with the Matt Rule thing. And what if that becomes such a mess that he has a bad year, even though he's healthy? Then people are going to go, well, there's always something with you, right? 3 years, always something, got to go. Right. And he's not somebody that teams really believe can be a backup. And that's where, if I was Baker, if I were making decisions or an advisor to Baker Mayfield, I would have strongly suggested that you do whatever you could to work out a release with the Cleveland Browns on whatever you had to eat to make that happen, so you can go somewhere like a Tampa Bay and rehab your image to NFL front offices by being a backup for a year, and then coming out after that, after showing people that, hey, I can be a backup, because now you have a safety net if your next starting job doesn't work out. But now you're in a situation where, hey, if you ball in Carolina, you're probably going to get paid. Good on you. But if you don't, I don't know who's going to be so eager to bring him in to be a backup if they view his personality as a volatile one. Like, there's not a lot of quarterbacks who are backups that teams feel like have volatile personalities despite their talent. Remember, Terrell Pryor had to switch to wide receiver because nobody thought that he could really handle being a backup from a maturity standpoint. So that's the kind of thing that, hey, if you can start, you can get away with. But the second they don't think you're a starter and they still feel like you're like that, that's how a very talented player ends up out the league much faster than they anticipate.